to another exciting edition of Our Bleepin City. I'm your host, Mikey Two Guns. Today, I'm pleased to bring you a guy who embodies the toughness, heart, and grittiness of New England, of this area. He's a heavyweight veteran, a BKFC fan favorite, undefeated in the BKFC, 3-0, all 3 wins by knockout. He just delivered one of the grittiest comebacks you'll ever see anywhere in combat sports. Coming off this huge statement win this past weekend at Mohegan Sun, it's my pleasure to welcome to the show Parker Porter. Parker, what is going on, my man? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I'm happy to be here.
Huge win this past weekend up here in our region, our Bleepin region, and even more so your region, because I know you're from Connecticut originally. How are you feeling? Has the adrenaline has worn off yet after that just electric knockout, which had a little bit of everything in such a short time? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. I just got an X-ray done on my hand, so I got a Rolando's fracture in my thumb.
Okay.
Hopefully go get checked out on Monday with an orthopedist. But other than that, everything's peachy, man.
Okay.
I had a couple of small stitches in the top of my head. Those are already out. Bruising that's fading away, and everything's good, man. Other than the thumb.
You're looking great. You look like a new man already.
Thank you.
That's some superpower healings right there. Take us. It was such a short fight, but had so much drama into it. Take us back to the fight. How badly were you hurt in that? Because he got you a little bit in that first round. How badly were you hurt, and what was going through your mind, and what got you through that spell of adversity right there, right off the bat?
I just have it in my head that like I got to get up. If you go down, get up, get your feet underneath you, do everything you can to keep the fight going until that W comes out. And there were definitely a couple of times, first time he dropped me, I got back up. I felt pretty quick. I didn't know where I was. It was just, like, oh, I'm on the ground again. Then get back up. Oh, I'm on the ground again. Get back up. Definitely a little wobbly towards the very end of that first round. I think had there been more time and had he had another chance, it would have been a lot harder. He might have actually come out the winner on that end. But thankfully, the very last time I got back up, there was only like 2 seconds left in the round. And then I had a full minute to sit down and recollect myself with my coaches in the corner. Man, I just you never stop. It's never been in me to stop or quit. Like I said in the arena post fight, anybody that knows me, if I got my mind set on something, you genuinely have to completely incapacitate me, kill me to stop me.
Yeah, no, that's that. I wouldn't expect you to have said anything less. You also showed a little of that savviness at the end to kind of to kind of finish that round, to kind of try to tie him up a bit. Was that the game plan going into the fight, just to have it be a phone booth fight just like that, or is it just like kind of, did you revert to kind of the natural instinct of your brawling nature?
There's always a game plan going into it, but unfortunately that once you get tagged, when you're that type of person, you just kind of go into brawl mode. It's like, oh, somebody hit me, I'm gonna hit him back as hard as I can, as many times as I can. So that's something that I've been working on evolving to, just being a little more calculated even after I get tagged. There's always a game plan. It's just that a lot of times it goes right out the window, and you gotta shoot from the hip. And that was one of those situations where it's exactly what happened. I felt the first time I got hit, ironically, I didn't feel like I was in very much danger. So I just decided, I'm like, all right, I'm going to come forward. Right. And like I said, none of those really completely put me out. They put me down, they shut my legs off, but my mind was still with it, and every minute.
How important was it having an experienced ref like Dan Miragliotta in there, who gives fighters every chance, the fighter every chance to fight through adversity? And he doesn't try to stop the fights too quickly. You see a lot of refs that might jump the gun and might have stopped it. How important was it having an experienced ref like that working that fight?
Crucial for him to be able to see me. Thankfully I not only having Dan have the experience that he has, but also having had him ref several of my fights prior to this. I believe he refereed my last fight with
Nice.
BKFC at Mohegan in June as well.
Wow.
So that plays a huge role. Having a quality referee who knows, all right, like this guy's still with it. Like he's gone down a couple of times, but he's following my commands. Verbal commands. He's doing everything he can physically. I think that was a crucial component, and I'm very thankful to have such an experienced referee in that situation to give me the opportunity to put on the performance and come back for the W.
I couldn't agree more. All right, so you get back to your corner after that first round. What's the message in the corner getting you ready for that next round?
The first question, the first thing that was going on in the corner is I sat down. My head coach Ed Thornton was telling me, he's talking. He's like, you got to get behind the jab, blah blah blah. And I'm like, Ed, speak up. It's loud in here. I can't hear you. He's a quiet guy. He's nice. He's very soft spoken. Right. And like, it was kind of reassuring to him. He told me after the fact, he's like, when you told me to speak up, it was like, oh, okay, he's still there.
You're still with it. Yeah.
And I was like, Ed, come on, man, stop whispering. So, but the big thing was, for them to say, like, you gotta get behind your jab. You gotta stay longer because you're landing when you're staying longer. You gotta stop trying to get into this pissing contest, and unfortunately I'm just too stubborn for my own good. I did start the second round trying to stay a little bit longer behind the jab. You can see in that first exchange, we both come out with good stiff jabs, and then we kind of hesitate, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, let's brawl again. So that's just a number of repetitions, I think, for myself. So I just have to put myself in that. Don't get sucked into a pissing contest all the time.
Sure. How much juice did it give you? Because the fact that you showed that heart to get out of the first round, and like you said, it was loud in between rounds because the fans, all the local fans were like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna will him to a comeback," and the whole night it had been fight after fight, just electrifying the fans. How much of the fans kind of pick you up there too? Because the minute you started coming back in that round, you couldn't even hear yourself think.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what it was like in the corner. Like you had to shout. We're only a foot away from each other at most, and we had to basically shout at each other to be heard. So the fans having that kind of energy, being behind me, knowing that was going, hearing the crowd, knowing that my wife and my kids are in the crowd as well. Yeah. It's everything, man. It creates such a surge of energy. It's nothing but positive energy behind it, and putting it to good use after that.
So the second round was a complete, basically flip of the first round.
Yeah.
When did you realize you got him? Like, was it the first one you hit that you really landed there?
No, I honestly didn't. I was expecting him to get back up because I honestly wasn't sure he was going to get back up in the first round. First time I dropped him, I know those were good, solid, clean shots. He didn't exactly pop back up right away. So I was like, all right, here we go. And then after that, him dropping me several times after that. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be it. And I had no idea that was going to be the situation until I saw Dan's hands, waving everything off. And I was like, oh, it was electrifying.
What does that say about this sport that, we saw it, we've seen it the past few main cards where, Lorenzo Hunt he looked dead in the water too, and just out of nowhere, he's the winner with the just incredible knockout. What does that say about this sport? Just the excitement level, and just like how appealing it is, like how exciting it is. Like, how do you feel about this sport now, having been in a bunch of different disciplines?
I love this sport. I love it. I think this is, if you were to custom make something that was perfectly suited for me, this would be it. One of the things, like you said, it's just such an entertainment factor. It's not over until it's over.
Right.
You know, like you can't count these guys out because everybody's got a puncher's chance. Everybody gets a chance to put their heart on display. And it's so much more than just a technical matchup.
Yeah. What was the because you had a lot of fights in the UFC before this. What was the what made you cross over?
So when I got released from the UFC in 2023, I wasn't really sure what was going to go on. I wasn't sure if I was going to try and get back to the UFC.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to go fight for another promotion,
like Bellator or PFL or something. Yeah.
Or PFL. Yeah. So all I knew was that I wasn't done. And I took that year to kind of just fall back in love with training because at that level with the UFC, you know, it had started to become really stressful and I started to lose my passion for the training side of things.
Right.
And the excitement of the fight. You know, it became more of a job. And it took me that good year of just training again for the sake of training with no real reason other than I just love training. I love fighting. I want to do this. I want to keep going. So that's essentially what made me come over to the BKFC is I fell back in love with training and, you know, the intrigue and the allure of taking my gloves off and making it even more real than you can with the UFC was just the next step, so to speak. I've been doing this for a long time, so it was like there's only really one more thing left to test myself in. And it happened to be BKFC, and the universe aligned everything properly for me, and the timing of everything was perfect, and we hit the ground running in February. Got the second victory in June, and then closed out the year with another strong win. You know, everybody's touting it as fight of the year, not just fight of the night. So
for sure.
I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's one of those fights that people are going to be talking about for a long time.
Instant classic, absolutely. Growing up, were you playing other sports?
I played football, a little bit of baseball and lacrosse.
Nice.
I played like one season of deck hockey when I was a kid.
Oh, that's the best.
always physical stuff. You know, like I always wanted to play physical sports. And then just got more serious about football when I got into high school and just focused on that.
And when did the fighting come in?
Fighting came in after I graduated from high school.
Okay.
And I was 340 pounds when I graduated, defensive lineman.
Wow.
I was probably almost 40% body fat, so I was very round. I was very much a Billy Bob lookalike.
Right.
And I got into the gym, got a personal trainer, started learning more about nutrition and everything.
Yeah.
Lost 120 pounds in a year.
Wow.
And got in the best shape I'd ever been in. So for me, it was like I'd always worked out or gotten into the gym to get better at whatever sport I was playing. And at the time, I didn't have anything going on. So I was like, here I am in the best shape I'd ever been in.
Yeah.
What do I do with it?
Right.
Because when I got into the training side of things, I'd never had any intention of competing or anything. It was just like, this will mix up my workouts. I'll learn some self-defense, you know, and it'll be a good way to kind of mix up, you know, just pounding iron every day.
Make it a little more fun.
Right. And, you know, have like, I can actually test myself on in a different perimeter. And then I happened to be good at it. And my coach was like, after 9-10 months, was like, hey, you want to give this a try? And I signed up for my first pro fight, and the rest is history from there, man.
That's awesome. When did you realize during that training that you had something special?
I didn't realize it until after my first fight.
Wow.
You know, like I could see with my peer group and the guys I was training with, I was like, I'm like picking things up quickly.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys around me that've been training for much longer that I'm starting to get the better of. It just overall, like, wow, you're like on an accelerated learning path. And I became obsessed with it too, because it's one of those things where it started to seep into every aspect of my life. And really take hold of more of a martial artist approach to living in general. And that it wasn't until after my fight though when I actually like tested myself in an outside perimeter, outside of the guys that I was training with on a regular basis. So I was like, I got something I could do with this, and I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
So fighting really has completely changed your life, health-wise, like mentally, spiritually, just career-wise too. I mean, what would you be doing if you weren't fighting?
Man, I don't even know. I'd probably be doing construction still.
Yeah.
You know, like I up until literally this month, I was still working part-time construction. My uncle's a general contractor. He's taught me a lot.
Sure.
Worked on a bunch of jobs with him. But you know, so obviously nothing but love and respect for the trades. Love all my blue-collar boys and girls. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything in particular that I was like, that's going to be my specialty or my.
Until you found this.
Yeah, until I found this. Now this is my PhD.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're one of the few, or not a few, but like one of the prominent BKFC fighters representing New England. How much pride do you take in representing this region?
Huge amount. It's second only to making sure that I make my family proud.
Sure.
You know, that was one of the biggest motivators for my fight back in June. Was seeing all the guys on the card, local boys, come up short, and you know, I was already motivated to begin with, but then I just kind of had it in my head that, you know, like I'm not going to be that guy that, you know, like everybody else, like I'm going to hold it down for my region. I'm going to hold it down for New England. I'm going to hold it down for the Northeast.
Nice. Love it.
And this is my house, and you're not going to come in here, you know, and stomp all over my floor.
Love that. What do you say to all the fans? Because the fans were loud and boisterous and behind you. What do you say to all your fans? Because you have a lot of fans up here, and the ones that came out to Mohegan, and the ones that have been supporting you the whole way. What do you say to all your fans?
I said thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for believing in me. Without fans, without the support of everybody out there cheering and urging and supporting and, you know, buying tickets to the fights and promoting and helping, without them, I couldn't do what I do, you know. And that's not lost on me, and I genuinely appreciate that. So to all the fans out there, thank you so much.
For sure, the fans are everything. So I want to say, because I don't have much of a voice, but you have better access to guys like Conor McGregor and David Feldman. Do you think you can lobby these guys to bring the BKFC to Boston, to the TD Garden for the first time? I mean, especially a guy like Conor McGregor, he's got a lot of love here. Yeah. What do we got to do to get the BKFC to Boston?
I don't know, man, but I'll start trying to drop a bug wherever I can. Yeah. That would be fun. I would definitely want to be on that card too.
I think that would just be, I mean, absolutely electric. If you fought in Boston, you had McGregor promoting it, everything.
We could blow the doors off of that place.
Absolutely. Fighters now are able to fight later into their lives, into their 40s and stuff. You now are giving a lot of inspiration to fighters in their 40s. You're doing it at the very top level. What's been the secret to your success being, you know, still competing at such a high level into your 40s?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a heavyweight and I don't have to cut any weight.
Yeah.
You know, cutting, the guys that cut weight, whether it's a little bit or a lot of it, the more weight you cut, the bigger the toll that takes on your body. Yeah. Definitely seen that it shortens up guys' careers significantly. So I think that's probably the biggest contributing factor is I walk around at what I fight at.
Nice.
So I'm not putting my body through the extra stress of having to cut water and dehydrate myself to make weight.
What's next for you? Because there's a lot of really exciting heavyweights that you could potentially be matched up with. Do you have any fights, any opponents that you'd like to fight?
Of course, I want to fight for that belt. You know,
sure.
So we have to see how February goes at Knuckle between Rothwell and Arlovsky. I want that belt, so whoever they got to put me up against next to get me there, that's what they got. They mentioned one name already, but nothing's set in stone yet, so I'm not going to put that out there yet. And that one excites me too, because I think it'd be another opportunity for us to both go out there and put on another amazing fight of the night kind of performance for the fans.
I think the potential of you versus Rothwell, just two behemoths going at it, would just be awesome for the fans. I mean, I'd love it for the championship too. Yeah. I think that would be just an awesome banger. Outside of fighting, what's something people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh man, I'm just a regular guy outside of fighting. I just I love going to my kids' sporting events. I'm going to a basketball game to cheer on my twins later today. I'm building Legos with my kid.
Nice.
I'm a family man through and through. I want to be there for my sons every step of the way that I can.
Nice.
And unfortunately, life isn't always agreeable with that. Yeah,
right,
it gets in the way. So unfortunately, you gotta miss some things here and there. But yeah, my kids are the most important thing in the world to me. So
nice.
I don't know if that's something that people don't already know.
Yeah,
I'm usually pretty vocal about that.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm a regular guy. I like to build shit with my hands. I like to sit by the fire with a beer and relax. I like to work hard. I want to be a good example of what it is to be a good, hardworking man.
When you go out, do people recognize you?
Here and there. Yeah, it's happened a few times. It's starting to happen a little bit more and more now.
Sure. I was going to say.
It's funny. I'm getting noticed a little bit more than now that I'm with the BKFC than I was when I was with the UFC, which is ironic to me because BKFC being so new, so to speak, compared to the UFC.
I think the fans have caught on really fast to the BKFC, and my personal opinion is it's gonna overtake the UFC on a scale of entertainment value, because you don't have a lot of the casuals aren't so keen on the grappling, even though it could be very technical and high skill. A lot of the casuals, this will bring in a lot of the casuals along with the hardcore fight fans. With the finishes, you don't have a lot of controversy because there's definitive knockouts. What is your feeling on how high this sport can climb?
Surpass the UFC in terms of entertainment value, especially because of what you just mentioned about the grappling side of things.
Yeah.
For casual fans, if you don't at least have some kind of grappling background, the grappling exchanges are boring.
Right.
In a UFC fight or an MMA fight, because you don't know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
Whereas with the striking side of things, with bare knuckle boxing, it's a much easier thing to follow. You can be a casual fan and still understand what's happening. And on top of that, because it's a striking sport, it's very fast paced. It's very entertaining. It's as you said, most of the fights they get finished. They don't go to a decision. It's very rare for a BKFC fight to go to a decision. So finishes are much more definitive. There's a lot less controversy in terms of calls or decisions. So I think with all those elements, the BKFC is definitely poised to surpass the UFC entertainment-wise.
Is there any type of rush like you get when you have a knockout, or just a ring walk for a fight? Is that an adrenaline rush like no other?
Absolutely. The ring walk is like, all right, it's time to go to work. That's a different kind of rush. But that win, getting your hand raised, especially after a KO, it's electrifying. You literally feel like you can shoot fucking bolts of lightning out of your fingertips.
Is it? I know you always would love to be the main event like you were the last time. Is it hard though being the main event, because you got to wait? I mean, BKFC not as long as other promotions, but is it tough being the last one to go on because you got to wait the whole time?
It is. Especially for MMA. Like you get an MMA card that starts at 6:00. If you're the main event, you're probably not walking until 10:30.
Right.
Whereas with the BKFC, even being the main event, everything started at 6. I think we were wrapped up completely by 9:30.
It's crazy.
So I definitely enjoy being the main event for a BKFC show a lot more than I did for anything to do with MMA.
We got the cast. When do you think you'll be ready to get back in the ring?
As soon as possible, man. As soon as I talk to the doctor and we decide whether, I got to find out if I'm going to need surgery on the hand or not. Hopefully I won't. Hopefully they can just cast it.
Sure.
And it's, good old 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, that's not bad.
Up and then I'll be back to training.
Well, Parker, man, it's been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you taking the time today. Your heart, your toughness, your willingness to represent this region in the right way. That's exactly what Our Bleepin City is all about. Congrats on this huge win, 3-0, 3 knockouts. I'll be watching closely to see what's next. Hopefully some of the big fights we just talked about. But anytime you got something to promote or talk about, you always got a seat here in Our Bleepin City.